Richard, it was great to have you here. How was the tour, the wine tour here in the Bodega?
Well, first I'd like to thank you for coming, for letting me come, but the wine tour, it was fascinating. I didn't know this place existed, and Helen said to me as we walked through the door, it smells like Christmas. and it does. The aroma, as you walk round this place, it's not wine, it's not port, it's not sherry, it's Christmas cake.
It's special.
Yeah, it really is special. Fascinating tour.
So, how was your life in the UK? Because probably you've been to similar places like this, but what was your first idea of coming to Spain? How did it all start at this trip to Spain?
Well, as you know, I was a police officer for 21 years. And that's stressful. Wow. It is stressful. And then I went into marketing, and I was managing director of a marketing company. More stress. And you reach the stage, you know, where you think, I've had enough. And we looked around, and Spain, it's almost unique because the people in Spain don't live to work, they work to live. It's tranquil. It's, of course, the weather's got something to do with it as well.
The weather helps, yeah.
Yeah, the weather helps. The sun and everything else. And as you get older, you know, a bit of warmth instead of freezing cold and pouring rain is a great advantage. But overall, it was the tranquil side that we wanted.
And how many years you've been here already
20.
in Spain? 20 years.
20 years.
So you are a permanent resident now?
We are a permanent resident. In fact, we've been a permanent resident for 15 years because as soon as we got here, we made sure our paperwork was 100%. And we've stayed that way.
And have you been always in Costa Blanca?
Well, permanent residents, yes. We live in the Campo. We've got chickens, ducks, geese, dogs, cats, a canary. Yes, we've always lived in the Costa Blanca, but we've toured all of Spain. We've been everywhere in Spain. Well, not everywhere, but we've been many places.
But at the end you choose to come to Costa Blanca?
Yes.
Because of the weather, because of the area? Or?
It's got everything, hasn't it? I mean, there is the commercial side of it, there is the good transport, there is the sea, there is the sun, it's central. And we live approximately 12 kilometres from the airport. So going back and forwards to the UK from the Costa Blanca is probably one of the easiest places to live if you want to keep your ties to the rest of the world.
And now, well, I mean, obviously you are retired in Spain, but also you are helping with some association, is that right?
Yes, I'm the Vice President of Brexpats in Spain, which has got 30,000 members now across Spain and, I have to say, around the world. Many of them are still in the UK looking to come out to Spain, and we assist them. And we assist the people that live in Spain, and we work closely with the British Embassy, the British Consulate, Ayuntamientos. We're a really quite well-established group now. We've been doing it for 5 years.
Because it's been hard these latest years because of transition, is that right?
It's been hard since the UK decided to leave Europe. It's been difficult. It's been difficult for many, many people, and still is. For many who want to come over here, for instance, life has become, shall I say, different. It's become more complex and more expensive. Luckily, it sounds big-headed, but we are there and we assist many of them with this transition process, and we're sorting out any problems that they've got. But yes, it's harder.
But I know, Richard, you've been helping the expat community for many years. I think 5 already you've been trying to help, after Brexit probably, wasn't it? Or even before?
Well, before. I mean, for 10 years we worked with a group in El Campello, and I was vice president there as well. And Helen, my wife, was the secretary. and we assisted a lot of people there. And then for 5 years we've been doing this. So yes, you've got to do something when you're retired.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate all your help. I've been seeing you giving advice, helping the expat community over and over, doing seminars with the British community. I think people should be very grateful, to be honest. I mean, giving free time and assist your...
I think we're all grateful all round, because you've done the majority of those, you and Pedro have done the majority of those meetings with us. You've seen the problems that people have been having. I mean, I worked it out that over the years I've done well over 6,000 kilometres travelling around, going to these various meetings. And we hope they've helped people. We think they have. We've been told they have, but you know.
Yeah. No, it's been very good and very filling, isn't it? Because getting every single person's opinion about the situation, I think it gave you a lot to think, a lot to give and a lot to think, wasn't it?
I think there's every opinion that you can get is out there.
Yeah.
There are some people who believe that Brexit was a good thing, and they live out here, they own property out here, which I have to say I find a bit surprising, but there you go. And there are, I would say the majority of people have an opinion which is not particularly pro-Brexit, but it's every shade of grey.
Okay, and what do you think right now, because of a pandemic has appeared and the Brexit, and what do you think about Spain right now in order to receive British citizens, and with the new regulations, is helping or not?
The pandemic has not helped anything, any of us. I mean, it's been a strain with the lockdowns and isolation. For many people, the isolation has proved a major problem.
Didn't help because of pandemic and COVID and Brexit.
Yeah,
so
pandemic, COVID, Brexit, language barriers for people who had rushed over here to get in.
To get the papers.
Yeah, to get in before December the 31st. Many of them rushed out here. They had no idea of what they were rushing into. They just knew that they wanted to live in Spain, but they didn't know anything about it, living in Spain. So we've had to assist them. It's been difficult. It's been frustrating, but it's also been rewarding. When you've actually managed to help somebody and they've come back and they've told you that they are really grateful, you don't want them to say that they're grateful. You don't want anything, but it's
nice.
You get a warm feeling.
That's what keeps you going, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That's the whole motor, isn't it?
Yeah, it's what works.
Right, and what has changed for the people already living in Spain now? I know Brexit, obviously the regulations now are different for the non-European. On a daily basis, what is the most worrying thing of people? Because I have the feeling, Richard, that people are coming over. So even though people are still willing to come over, so I would say probably the regulations, but what do you think?
Well, I think you have to divide. Yeah, I think you have to divide it into three groups. You've got the withdrawal agreement, and those who came in under the withdrawal agreement. Not a lot has changed. They had a bit more paperwork to do to change over, but life, generally speaking, thanks to the EU and agreeing to it, and to the UK for going along with it, not a lot has changed for them. For people who weren't under the withdrawal agreement, life has changed considerably, because they're into extended time for getting their permanent residence. They have to fill out more paperwork. It's more complicated.
More bureaucracy, correct?
Absolutely. And for those that are trying to arrive now, I would say the fundamental change is it costs a lot more money now. And that's the fundamental change.
And well, we know that you have a lot of experience with those situations. What would you recommend? I know it's a difficult question. What would you recommend to the government of Spain or to the local authorities in order to let's say, to put better or get better the bureaucracy in order to be able to receive British citizens into Spain, to be resident? I know it's a difficult question.
Well, it isn't. It isn't. I don't know how Portugal has done it, but take a look at what Portugal is doing for new residents would be one thing I would say to the national government. Because Portugal has kept things fairly simple and a lot cheaper for new arrivals.
Their requirements, yeah?
To local authorities, to ayuntamientos, to extranjeros, etc., I would say try and make it a level playing field, because the big problem is that if you ask me a question and you live in Costa Blanca or Alicante, shall we say, and I give you an answer, that probably won't apply to you if you live in Malaga. And that's a problem. That is a big problem.
It is a big problem because the bureaucracy makes it more complex.
Yeah.
But to be honest, through the courts, if we're talking about immigration, once they just get it rejected, the judges pretty much will take the law as it is. But I agree that the administrative office, the extranjería office, they have their own books.
Yeah.
And I agree that they made people's life a bit more difficult, asking for documents that was probably hard to provide.
Yeah. Regional variations are a big problem, especially when you're a national organisation like we are, because we've had to divide into regions in order to be able to answer people. You can't give an answer from a central point in Spain to bureaucracy. It has to come from the provincial regions. It's the only way you can do it.
What about, just asking you personal things here, Richard, what about living in Spain, communications? How easy you been settling here for you? I mean, you live in a flat, or just you are more a campo man? Or,
we live in the campo. We've got a small finca. We've got geese, ducks, chickens, dogs, cats, a canary, 5,000 square metres of land, and we are the only British in the Pueblo, the only British. It was difficult to start off with, especially when you consider that the older members of the village spoke Valenciano. And I can tell you now, after 20 years, that is still incomprehensible to me. But they were great. The people are superb. They adopted us. Really, they did adopt us. They helped us. We started to learn Spanish. Our Spanish is still terrible, and for that I am embarrassed, but enough to get by. And the villagers did this for us. It's been superb. The other thing that you have to say about Spain is that the communication links, this is the roads and the trains, are stunning. They are absolutely stunning. You can go to Madrid in 4 hours. Yeah.
Well, driving 4 hours, but with the AVE now is 2:20.
Yeah, absolutely.
So train now is great.
It is, the
just
AVE.
going and airport.
Alicante airport. I mean, you live very close. You said it's 20 minutes.
12 kilometres.
12 kilometers. Yeah.
But I go down to Almeria. We have a caravan permanently sited in Almeria. Well, I say we go down. We haven't been down for 2 years. But,
Right.
and I go by train sometimes. And the thing that gets me about the train, it's clean. And I know that may sound daft, but it's clean. It's something that I'm not particularly used to from the UK. It's secure and it's safe. There are security guards wandering up and down the train all the time. It's comfortable. You know, you've got sensible seats that fold backwards and forwards. So you can get 4 people in, or you can have 2. It's well thought out.
But Richard, you said 20 years, right? So probably there was not even internet at the time you arrived.
It was iffy. We had no internet where we were. and it was satellite. We had to use satellite.
And how about now? How is the internet?
We've still got no fast internet. We are on Wi-Fi, what they call WiMAX, which is still radio internet, but it works.
It works.
And when we first arrived, I am techie. That's how I started life. I was an Admiralty apprentice, electronics and engineering. And the first thing I did in Spain, because I have worked in Spain, I've had marketing jobs, and the first job I had was installing internet satellite systems.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I needed one myself. And I went down to the place in Torrevieja and discussed it with him, and he said, you understand this? And I said, yes. And he said, do you want a job? So I said, yes.
So you work in Spain as well, yeah?
Yeah. So I worked
That's great. You contribute into the system, and
Yeah.
well, that's great. And so, but now with the nomad visa that probably might come and things, I've noticed, Richard, that you could be working from every little place. I mean, I still have a portable Wi-Fi.
We are receiving a lot of queries, questions, appointments that people is thinking and planning in the future to come to Spain, but not quitting the job. It's just to keep the job, but working in Spain automatically. I assume you have heard about that.
Well,
also, yeah.
it sort of links in because in the UK now, a lot of businesses shut down and let people work from home. And, well, they didn't just let them, they made them work from home. Well, they've now found out, many businesses, that you don't actually need people sitting in seats in an office. They can do it from home. The natural extension to that is that you don't just sit in a home in England, but if you can do it in England, you can do it in Spain. So I think this nomad visa is going to be interesting.
Popular, at least.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting.
I think it's a great idea because people really love moving over here, get a better style of life. I mean, probably we don't appreciate it because we live here, but people over there, when we do the video conference and everything, they're really pushing into come and live in Spain, bring the children, start a new life, but work remotely because they still have good jobs abroad. And we're having a lot of international clients doing so, which I was surprised, but I could understand the point of it.
I think a lot of people will be doing this. In fact, I see that as the growth sector in the next 2 years.
I agree with that, and obviously the pandemic has brought that kind of need by families, people thinking about their lives and say, well, what if I could do it, the same work if I'm in the sun and have a different life?
Well, people have realised that there's such a thing as quality of life, not just living it, but there's quality of life. And by working from home, be it home in Spain, that quality can be there.
One thing that I mean, we in Spain we are proud of a public health system, as you know, but obviously there should be some problems. But what do you think about the health system in Spain? I mean, obviously you or people that you know that has been in hospitals with doctors.
Look, 10 years ago, I was taken ill, and it ended up with a triple heart bypass in Spain. The service was absolutely stunning, from start to finish. That's the only way you can describe it.
Okay.
My wife, Helen, had cataracts. The service has been stunning. She can now see me. We're getting a divorce probably, but she can see me.
But that was in the public hospital, Richard?
Public hospital.
Well, good. Probably in General, Alicante?
Alicante.
Yeah, that's good. And you didn't need private health because you work and contribute into the system, so you were always...
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
But I could have done it on an S1.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
So I could have done it
because in both countries,
But the real point is that the service, it really can't be criticised. And may I just tell you a little quick story? I was in intensive care, and Alicante General has instigated a system where the nurses are learning English.
Okay.
And they sit round the nurse's desk, the staff nurse's desk, where they start to learn English. And I'm listening, and I said, that's not right. And they kept me in intensive care for an extra 3 days, and every day the nurses sat round my bed and I taught English. That's the sort of relationship that you can get, and it was excellent, absolutely excellent.
It was close people to you, yes,
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was. Well, I love Spain.
That's
You
good.
know, I'm biased. I think
Yeah.
it's. I think it's.
It is
superb.
nice to hear from you, because for us, we're being abroad, we could have the feeling about living abroad. But for us, since we live here, we probably don't appreciate so much as you do, you know.
Well,
I
after
mean,
20 years, I still appreciate it.
Yeah.
I was pleased when we came out, and I'm still pleased.
that's very
And
good.
I think that says it all, really.
We had a really good time in Southampton. Remember?
Yeah,
We were studying law in Southampton.
98,
1998,
98.
a long time ago. And we had a really good time. Obviously, it's a different life as a student, but we were studying law, and it was good. I remember the weather. The weather, it was changing day by day. Or in the morning, it was different
You
from the
mean
afternoon.
less rain, more rain, even more rain?
Yeah, I didn't understand it, but it was like...
And 1998, yeah, well, I was police officer in Portsmouth.
Okay. Oh,
very
wow.
close.
And,
It's close, eh?
and I used to work in Southampton as well.
Right.
But by then I'd left, I'd done my 21.
So what year did you leave?
No, I can't remember now.
You can remember.
I try and forget.
Yeah, it's past.
It's gone.
It's gone. And what is the thing that you like most in Spain? I know there is so many things, you know, I don't know about the food or about people, but what is it the more touching for you, if you could describe?
A simple answer would be the cafe culture. That doesn't mean that I go around swigging beer. I don't. In fact, I'm bordering on teetotal unless it's something like this. But the cafe culture, if you go into anywhere, somebody will say hello to you. And when they leave, they say goodbye. That's the difference. It's friendly, it's relaxed, it's nice. So that's the answer to the question. It's not the cafe itself, it's the
atmosphere,
attitude.
yeah.
And the attitude and the atmosphere.
If you would have to choose some like perfect moments in Spain, which one will you choose?
The motorcycle tours.
Motorcycle, okay.
Yeah. The tours that we did, we picked the people up at Bilbao and we took them right round Spain, Seville, we went into Gibraltar. We brought them all the way round, and seeing the countryside and listening to their comments and seeing the cities. Yeah, it was.
That was in the summertime?
No, spring. We
Spring,
wouldn't do
beautiful.
it in the summer. It was too hot.
Yeah,
Springtime.
nice.
Yeah, it was seeing Spain through their eyes. To us, we'd seen it,
Yeah.
but they hadn't, and
Okay,
that was special.
good, yeah.
And Richard, I know, I think you told me one day, you were part of a community, I think in August, of Moors and Christians? I
Moros
think.
are Cristianos, yes.
Moros y Cristianos. And you did join the group of people
Oh,
on the
yes,
fiestas?
Yeah, we
It's
did
so
the
good.
parades.
The parades.
Yeah.
How was that atmosphere? I mean, I think it's beautiful, isn't it?
Stunning. The parades spoil the partying.
Yeah.
It's 4 days of fun.
Intensive, yeah.
Yeah,
Intensive care.
Intensive, yeah. No,
That's after.
afterwards you need intensive care. It's brilliant.
Very
And
popular.
That's another example of what I've been saying, because we joined it and we'd done the first year. In the second year, they came up, all gave us a hug and said, "You are family."
Wow.
Well, I'm British and I live in Spain, but I'm family. It was special.
I think there is no many expat that would join so much Spanish, because you need to be brave, to join all in Spanish, all the traditional, and here we go, you are.
Yeah, it's an experience, and I've got to say, the first year I didn't know what I was doing. I was in a parade, I was all dressed up, and Helen was all dressed up, and we did a parade, and I thought, I wonder what it's all about. I've done it,
Yeah, well done.
And so they helped us again. They explained the background to it. And I think there's some Spanish people who don't actually know what the real background is.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm sure about that.
Yeah,
I joined one of them in Alicante a couple of years. Obviously, from the very child, I've been seeing and watching that. And but it's always impact. Once you are inside, you realize that the feeling of this kind of
camaraderie.
Yeah.
Camaraderie.
Camarada.
Yeah, it's superb.
I remember clients from I think from United Kingdom. They say they were impacted when they saw that this would never be done in my country.
Cool. It wouldn't be allowed.
Wouldn't be allowed.
No, it wouldn't be allowed. I mean, some of the things, letting off fireworks and firing blunderbusses in the street, no, I don't think that would go down.
So Richard, so you've been in the very inside of the Spanish culture. What about food? What kind of food do you enjoy? And I know there is a lot variety, but what is your favorite? Just wondering.
Calamari, I like.
Calamari?
Yeah, calamari I like. Abas.
And
people don't know what Abbas is.
How do you translate that into English? Abbas. What is that?
Beans.
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 Yeah.
Beans and ham, I guess.
Yeah. It's very much in this area, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
lovely.
don't know if in every single part of Spain they will have it, and only in a season.
Helen's addicted to alioli.
Right.
Addicted to
I love it
alioli.
too.
And what about rice? Do you like rice?
You mean paella?
Paella.
Yes.
It's not your favorite, but
It's not my favorite. I enjoy it, but it wouldn't be something I
you
would
will order.
fight to go out and have. I don't particularly like fish. Having said that, I said I like calamari.
Yeah. Right.
But I try anything. I think you should have an attitude of, what's that? I don't know. I'll try it. If I don't like it, I won't have it again.
That's right.
As simple as that.
Yeah, simple.
Right.
I'm
Let's go for it. Yeah.
Okay. What's this?
Yeah, there you go. Let's try it again.
To Christmas to friends.
Oh yes. It's still nice, isn't it?
I can
Really
still,
nice.
I can still.
You forget
enjoy
it,
that.
but if you have it again,
It's as I said to you, it's a drink that you can't put into a slot. You can't say it's a port, it's a wine, it's a sherry, it's a fortified wine. It doesn't fit anywhere.
That's right.
and it's not that known. Actually, last year they got the award, the best wine in Spain.
Well,
And people still don't know it, you see?
I can see why. I can see why. It's stunning.
And what will you wish, make a wish for next year? What do we
End of pandemic.
end the pandemic?
That would be fantastic. Yeah.
It won't happen, I don't think, but that would be my wish. One thing that we have missed out here is family.
Being locked up, yeah.
Yeah, we used to go back every Christmas. Well, 2 years. 2 years is a long time.
It's a long time, yeah.
So that's not been.
But that's all around the world, isn't it?
It is.
It
You
is all
can't say
around.
it's Spain.
It is all around.
But if you ask me my wish, that would be it for the end of that.
Well, let's cheer for that then.
I think I need more wine.
Pedro needs a
Cheers.
bit. It's nice to have you here, Richard.
It's nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And I look forward to doing that again next year.
That's perfect.
Okay, well, Richard, let's go and visit the bodega and